Ratio introduction. You can compare the size of two quantities by writing them as ratios. Let's have a look at this in an example. So Annabelle and Advika share a prize of £20. Annabelle gets £12 and Advika gets £8. We're going to have to find the ratio of Annabelle to Advika's money. So we're going to write down Annabelle's money on the left hand side because Annabelle was mentioned first, so Annabelle gets £12, and Advika on the right hand side because Advika was mentioned second. So whatever the order in the question is how you write the order in the ratio. So we're going to write below Annabelle £12 and below Advika £8. Now this is the ratio of Annabelle's money to Advika's money. In ratio you use these double dots, this colon, and that means £12 to £8 of Advika's. That's what the ratio is. However, with ratios, you should always simplify. It is very similar to fractions in that manner, in that whatever you do to the left-hand side to simplify it, you have to do the exact same thing to the right-hand side, otherwise you will affect the ratio of Annabelle's to Advika's. So the ratio of Annabelle's money to Advika's money is 12 to 8. However, we will always simplify that. So let's look at simplifying. So what we do is we see what we can divide both sides by. So we can divide them both by 2. So we divide 12 by 2, you get 6, and 8 by 2, you get 4. And then we can see this can still be simplified because we can divide 6 and 4 again by 2. So that will give us 3 and 2. However, in a similar manner as fractions, we can simplify the ratios in steps. So we can divide by 2 and divide by 2 again, or we can divide by one number. So we find the biggest number, the biggest factor that will divide into 12 and the 8. So what we could have done is we could have divided straight away by 4, which was the biggest factor of both these two numbers, 12 and 8. And that would have given us the same answer, 3 to 2. So this is the ratio of Annabelle to Advika's money in the simplest form as possible. So let's have a look at this example. So Hanif and Louise share out 25 sweets. Hanif gets 10 and Louise gets 15. And we'll have to look at the ratio of Hanif to Louise. Now Hanif was mentioned first, so he'll be written first. So Hanif's sweets to Louise's sweets are 10 to 15. Again, we have to make sure that's simplified, like we do with fractions. So we'll see what is the biggest number that will divide in both of these. So that will be 5. So we divide both sides by 5. And when we do that, we will get 2 to 3. And as these are both prime numbers, they cannot be simplified any further. The ratio of Hanif's to Louise's money is 2 to 3. Now this question is slightly different. So the question states, so the ratio of men to women in the club is 5 to 2, and we know there are 35 men, so we need to work out how many women there are. Okay, so first of all we'll write down the ratio of men to women, so it's 5 to 2, because that's the order in which it's written, so it's 5 to 2. Then below the men, we'll write down how many men there are. There are 35 men. And now we're going to look at making an equivalent ratio by multiplying both sides of the ratio by the same number. So to get from 5 to 35, we multiply that by 7. So therefore, we multiply this side by 7. So if the ratio is 5 to 2 men, and there are 35 men, that means there should be 14 women. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video, then try these. How did you get on? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then try again.